Teaching is the most important thing if a society is to regenerate. What happens is if information is not passed on, then it just goes by the wayside until a group of informed people come and pick it up. Much like in the Dark Ages of Europe, most of the information went into the monasteries. So when the Renaissance came, it was there. People decided they were going to pursue some information. We're in a cultural dark ages now in our country. But, you know, if we survive this, we'll come out of it and people will be interested in things of value again. What the rhythm section does is, if you look at the rhythm section like you look at a car. All right, the bass is the wheels. The drums is like the motor, and the piano is like the body. All right, so what we're going to do is, we're just going to play C minor. And we're going to use those two chords, and I'll try to give you all just an understanding basically of how the jazz band works. The bass does what's called walking. So the bass will now walk C minor, and you see that it's like somebody strolling. Go ahead and walk. Yeah, that sounds like the Creeper or something, right? And everything sits on top of that. It's at the bottom of the harmony. That means if you take a piano, all the other horns are going to be above the bass down here. All right, now what he's playing is a swing groove, which means the accent is on 2 and 4. Well, my father was one of my teachers, of course, and I had a teacher named John Fernandez. He taught me like about love of the trumpet. Get real soft. Play soft. And I see this like if you have the car that's going like 10 miles an hour. It's like a real pretty car, and you just profile it. You know, you're driving through the neighborhood, you're looking around, you're like, yes. Checking out what's happening. You just got you a brand new, nice automobile. It's clean. You got a bad suit on. You got your girlfriend with you. She's fine. Yeah. And you look at some of your friends. You say, what's happening? You're not going fast. You're going very slow because you want everybody to check it out. And that's what a good groove is like. You just want to lay in it and just profile. You don't want it to be loud. You don't want to play a bunch of wild stuff on it. You just want to look cute and play. Now what they can do, just the bass and the drums, this is the heart of the rhythm section. In any style of music. It could be pop music, funk, reggae. But now this is jazz music, so what they do is called swing. Now what they can do is they can alter rhythms that they play. They change the beat. Like, let me show you what I'm talking about. I want you to just play like pretty flowing chords, you know. Now this is one way she could play. We feel that it's our job to deal with our tradition and teach the younger musicians what it is they need to know. And we deal purely with the tradition and the legacy and the music, and that's our job. We study it and we know what it represents. Here's how the band is set up. The bass is in the middle, over here, and the drums over here. Now what happens rhythmically in the rhythm section is the piano has a dialogue with the drums. That type of dialogue can go on throughout an entire song, and the rhythms can change and vary and be done in inverses and done around, and it can be a dialogue with the soft cymbal in the piano or the bass drum. It's an infinite number of things that can be done creatively with the dialogue that goes on between the piano and the drums. And then when you throw the bass in there and the bass starts throwing some rhythms and some vamps underneath there, you can get just a small idea of the amount of creativity and the many different creative things that can take place with the jazz rhythm section. Now, there's two things y'all look for. People not swinging, smiling. People snapping their fingers on 1 and 3. People in jazz concerts while people are swinging acting like they can't hear swing. They just... I played a concert not recently. I saw one kid, I could see the whole audience from where I was playing, and all these people were like, and there was this one kid, he was like 11 years old or something. He was sitting like in the second row on the left side. He was like, didn't take my man out. He had the whole band grooving, and then his parents saw him and said, dysfunctional harmony. Somebody got to play that F to the B flat though. I want y'all to play this. Keep playing. I want you to play. Can y'all do that? Starts on the E. Starts on a concert E in society. Everybody has their chance to put in their 2 cents. Like the trombone section, they can harmonize that melody however they want. The only thing that's required is that it follows the rules of the music and that it sounds good. And that it's swinging and it's played with some nuance and some blues. You know, can you feel how you relax? Relax. Oh, see how your shoulders really are way down here. They shouldn't be up here when you're playing. Kind of look like Frankenstein or something. Just let the show relax. You know, when you're not relaxed, you can't play. It's hard to play. Just relax. You know, when you're playing a concerto with an orchestra and they're all playing their part, and you're standing up, you're trying to not mess up. That what was on my mind was terror. Do not miss. That's all. Just I hope I can make it through to the end of this movement and I'll be cool. Believe me. Like that's something that classical musicians have brought onto themselves, like a certain type of paranoia and desire for perfection in reading that music. And I mean, that music wasn't meant to be played that way. You know what I mean? It's like when you listen to Louis Armstrong play, that's how all music should be played. I don't mean that style, but the type of spirit that he plays music with, like there's no fear in him when he's playing. But you know, you miss a note in classical music. Damn, miss that note. You know what I mean? I have like kids who play trumpet who come up to me after the gig. Heard you miss that E flat. You know, you heard it. I felt it. I know I missed it. Now, the basis of jazz is blues and swing. The basis of jazz music. It's not me talking. Louis Armstrong said it. Duke Ellington said it. Monk said it. Train. Ornette Coleman, his innovations are blues-based innovations. So any progression in jazz will be based on a blues and a swing or a groove innovation. What we find in the history of jazz is that each generation of jazz musicians extend, elaborate, and refine different aspects of the blues idiom. And that becomes their innovation. That's their contribution. Now, another element that we have besides the blues is called groove. We know it as swing. And every type of music has different grooves. Grooves are a signal and a sign of the vitality of a people. Now you take the term progressive jazz. That's a curious term. But you take the jazz of, let's pick a year. Let's say 1960. In 1960, Duke Ellington's band was playing. Coltrane just started his band. Mingus had his band. Monk had a band on the road. Horace Silver was out working. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. The list goes on and on. Are we to believe that some of this music called progressive jazz is a progression on what John Coltrane was working on in 1960? What I mean is indefinite harmonic terms, innovations above John Coltrane's, rhythmically, melodically. We have definite objective criteria that we can use. And if we use them, then we find that very little has been done. If we use the work of Duke Ellington, and we don't just discuss it from a personal standpoint, like, well, I like the way this guy sounds. If we use objective criteria, it's very difficult for us to see where, except in the realm of texture, and that's because of the advent of synthesizers. So, of course, those people who use synthesizers, those instruments weren't available before, so that's a new thing. But so far as the use of, harmonic use of, the use in the context of the blues, the use in the context of swing, very little has been developed because jazz musicians and people who listen to jazz don't believe in studying past generations. Let's say if you go to study composition at a conservatory or something. Well, the first thing you're going to do is deal with 16th century vocal counterpoint. They're not going to give you a score of Bartok and say, here. Then you deal with Bach, then Haydn, then Mozart, then Beethoven, then Brahms, then Wagner, then Strauss, and so on and so on. Then Stravinsky, then Bartok, then Schoenberg, then Hindemith. Like, you go through the lineage of that music, and you are required to know something about it. You don't just say, oh, I'm Wynton Marsalis, I'm a composer of classical music. I write what I feel. But the heart of jazz music is blues and swing. So what you have to do to be considered an innovator in jazz music is either rhythmically innovate, like Charlie Parker did, or you have to innovate from a blues standpoint, like Coltrane did in Monk.
Chris Crenshaw, Jason Marcellus on the drum, Victor Goins, Carlos Enriquez, Sweet Papa, Don Vap.